Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Yellow House Wellness. If you've only just caught me at this point, my name is Melissa and I am doing my RBM Rebirthing Breathwork Mastery Facilitator program. Part of this program is having my own breathwork experience. We have 36 breathwork sessions. There's also a theory component, and then we get to sit in on other people's breathwork sessions before we graduate. So, I wanted to share my breathwork experience, one for myself to watch my own personal um, evolution in this process, and two, to show you guys all what is possible with breathwork. Just consciously breathing. Like we breathe every moment of every day. And, just consciously breathing for 90 minutes can make a huge, huge impact in your life. So, this is, I'm just kind of going back and debriefing my breathwork sessions. This was session number 3. So this is again back in February 2025, and it is now June 2025. My previous intention, um, feel free to go back and watch the session 1, session 2 if you haven't already. So my previous intention was to create peace as my authentic self, free to create limitless potential in my heart and in my soul. Sorry, I'm just reading off my notebook from all the notes that I took way back then. And so I used to start my sessions, not used to, I still do, start my sessions with a bit of a debrief of the week before the next session starts. And so what I've written here was I've definitely seen changes in my life and in my behavior around my intention. And I intend to feel peace as my authentic self, and I feel very comfortable to be who I am and speak my truth to others, even when it feels difficult. That's definitely something I would never have done. I always kept my mouth closed. I was always scared to speak. I didn't want to upset anyone. I didn't want to make other people uncomfortable. So I definitely lived this pattern of being uncomfortable myself so that other people weren't. Um, and I had a visibility win. My two of my brothers actually joined a group that I host called the Feminine Embodiment as part of my Facebook, my business page, Yellow House Beauty. And two of my brothers joined, and this was a win because the whole purpose of this group for me was to be my authentic self and share my experiences with other people and help them create wins in their life too. And so my brothers joining this group was quite significant because it's easy to show up as yourself in front of strangers. It's challenging to show up and be yourself in front of people who you feel will judge you. um, who are in your life, you see them and they will judge you. And so it felt like such a win having them there. And I remember at the time, um, I didn't change anything about what I was there to do. And they're still in the group. There's a few other guys that have joined the group since then. And I'm just going to show up and do my thing. And you guys don't like it, whatever. Don't be part of the group. I don't care. I actually did a dust by this morning in the group, and one of our friends was there, and like he was there watching the whole thing, and I was like, awesome, if he gets something amazing out of it. The people in my household think I'm crazy, but if he got something amazing out of it, I'm stoked for that. Um, People in my household think I'm crazy and call me a witch, but I'm not a witch. And if I am, I'm proud to be, but I'm not. So yeah, so I had the second part of my intention, feeling free to create limitless potential in my heart and soul. At this point in time, I took some action steps. Um, so I do beauty massage facials in my business, and I've been holding off doing another group facial program because the one previous to that I had to cancel because no one booked. And so, feeling inspired to take action on that was pretty massive. To not want to give up and to just keep going. And I took inspired action and I booked a date and a venue. And yeah, I've also written here. So this was Feb, so Valentine's Day. Um, for a long time, like I've been with my partner for like 22 years, and you know, I'm changing and growing and evolving in myself, and he's not. He's not doing any of the work, but I certainly am. And Valentine's Day was not really something we particularly celebrated. Um, but with this newfound excitement for life and feeling worthy and all the things. Um, I had expectations for Valentine's Day. I wanted it to be special, and he booked golf. He booked golf. And when he plays golf, he drinks, and then he comes home and he's really annoying and or falls asleep. And it's a whole day wasted. So I was really pissed off when he booked golf for Valentine's Day. I was a bit like, fuck you. And so I said to him, it took me a bit to work up to this, by the way. But I just didn't feel very valued in that moment. I didn't feel valued or appreciated. I thought, it's a special day. You should be spending that day with me. And I actually said to him, well, if you're going to play golf on Valentine's Day, you're not allowed to play golf on Saturday when you usually play golf, and you have to spend the whole day with me. And yeah, so I've written here that neglect was a big part of this. And to be perfectly honest, neglect was what I did to myself. Neglect didn't necessarily come from him. Neglect came from this person. I neglected myself for a very, 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 very long time, but I took that out on him. So part of my process of creating my intention was I intend to feel valued in my relationships, and I intend to make time and space for connections um, with my loved ones with an open heart. And in that moment, talking about this, there was a lot of tension in my jaw. There was a lot of feeling of anger and feeling rage and feeling undervalued and not feeling very important. And um, like I said, I did this to myself. I had kids. In fact, even before I had kids, I was prioritized everyone else and neglected myself. But it was more apparent after having kids. I completely neglected myself. And because I did that, other people showed up for me in the same way I showed up for me. So I take full responsibility. But anyway, um, my intention for this breathe was to live life with confidence, and radiance, being open to life, living from my heart space. And that came from, well, what will feeling valued and feeling prioritized give you? So, yeah, as much as it started with, I want to feel valued and I want to feel prioritized in life, um, what will that give me? How will I know? What will I feel when I have that? And what I would feel is confidence and radiance, being open to live life from my heart space. That is the essence of the intention there. So even though it was about feeling valued and prioritized, the intention was future focused. What do I want to feel instead? How do I want to feel instead? So I went into this breath work. I went to this breathe and I woke, my eyes opened before time had been called. Um, but I felt complete. I felt ready to open my eyes. I didn't um, feel that that was wrong. Um, I was very uncomfortable in my back. I was very distracted by outside sounds, and I felt like I was forcing myself in the breathe. I felt like I was forcing things to happen. I felt like I was forcing meaning out of things. And, for me, that was just leaning into trust and leaning into surrender. Um, so releasing that force, releasing that control, and leaning into trust and leaning into surrender. Um, Lots of tingles and sensations. Um, my eyes were feeling dry and irritable. I felt a mix of sensation. I felt like a warped sense of gravity, but only on parts of my face, like an intense force, but still felt weightless. Um, in my body, and even a nothingness. Now in breath work, you will hear repeatedly, nothing never happens. Something's always happening. Something's always happening. Nothing never happens. There were images in my head, confidence, recalling um, times where I had confidence. My confidence was broken, recalling times when my confidence was broken, um, and, making my own personal worth on experiences where I felt like that, making those experiences mean something about me, and then, um, really breaking my confidence with that. Um, what else have I written here? I stopped breathing. I felt that force of gravity shift throughout my face and neck into my hands. Sharpness, tingles, vibration. I allowed, I also felt nothing. And I allowed this feeling. Lots of discomfort. I felt like I was on the precipice of something amazing, but simultaneously, I felt like nothing. Um, there was also a memory of a music box. The music, those music boxes from when you were a child with the ballerinas inside, and images of the dancer, um, images of myself and my partner being the dancers inside the jewelry box. Lots of sensation and heat in my hands, moving up my arms, lots of imagery, noticing what was happening outside and feeling a bit distracted, lots of body sensations and tingles moving around my body. I heard my kids talking about a fart outside the room. Um, and yeah, not long after that, my eyes popped right open and I was ready to write about my experience. So, I guess when you look at my intention here and living with confidence, living with radiance, being open, and living life from my heart space. There was a lot of physical sensation here. There was a lot of releasing. There was a lot of moving, um, releasing those parts of me where I felt like I wasn't confident, releasing a lot, and shifting a lot in my body. So, even when things don't feel like they're happening, they are always happening. Always, 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 always. So that was my session 3. I hope you enjoyed listening to this, and I will be recording session number 4, um, and continuing the process. It is really fascinating to look back at where I was because I've said this in the other videos. I do not relate to these things. I am in my nervous system and in my body, I'm such a different person. I do not relate to these feelings now. So it's incredible looking back and reading back on what was and, comparing that to what now is. And even more excitingly, what the potential for the future is as well. So I hope you've enjoyed the video and I will see you on the next one. So bye. And I'll see ya in session number 4.